Okay, so you've come up with your home improvement project, whatever it's going to be, and you're super excited, and now you have to pay for it. There's lots of ways that you can do this. Let's talk about the various ways that there are and the pros and cons of each, so to speak. The first obvious answer is to pay cash. If you've got the cash laying around, you're going to go ahead and pay cash. There are some exceptions to this rule, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But look, in a perfect world, you figured out how much this project was going to cost, and you spent the time saving the money, and now you just need to go ahead and spend it. So go ahead and spend it. I love paying for cash for things, especially for projects under $50,000. It's like going to the party, drinking all the alcohol, and eating all the rich food and waking up the next morning and feeling fabulous, right? No hangover, no feeling bloat, like none of that. You just feels really great. You got this really fabulous improvement and you paid cash for it. The exception that I would make to this is that if you're going to do an addition to the property, you're doing a substantial upgrade that it's really going to improve the value of the property, the footprint. I would actually have you consider either doing a cash out refinance or using your home equity line of credit to do that, because for a variety of reasons. One is that if you've got the room to take the tax deduction, you certainly can, but also any improvements that are done with those, if you are now going to do a refinance later of your debt, that is really often considered a rate and term refinance and not a cash out refinance if you can document receipts that show that the money that you spent actually went into the house. That might be the only exception that I would make to this. Otherwise, cash is king. It's awesome. The second option, of course, is to borrow. And there's a huge variety of ways that you can borrow money. I'm just going to talk about a few of them that just tend to be the most obvious. One is that your product provider is providing financing. You're buying a bed, it's $6,000 or $15,000, whatever it's going to be, and they're offering financing. I don't mind these deals if your credit can take the hit. If you have a plan to pay off this debt, like, okay, we're going to borrow $15,000 and we're going to pay off $1,000 every month for the next 15 months. Like, I want you to have a plan around it. And I also, generally speaking, don't like people taking on this debt unless the financing is free. There might be fees to get it started, so you want to pay attention to those. It also might be that what they're really doing is issuing you a credit card and not a loan. And so you just want to make sure that you're following the small and fine print, because I don't really want you putting any other charges on this particular card unless you are done paying for the original purchase. So I don't mind these kinds of structures so long as you understand what you're getting into. And if the product provider is providing free financing, that's going to be hard to turn down. Just have a plan to pay it off so that you always get the free financing and what is usually an exorbitant interest charge and fees for not getting it paid off by a certain period of time. I don't want you to incur those. Now, you can also have your own credit card, and let's say they've got an advance that's free, or you're able to do your next purchases for free on that card. Same thing applies. It's not a terrible idea. Just know what you're getting yourself into and have a plan to get it paid off so that you're still getting the 0% financing. I don't want you incurring interest and fees. That's really not the wisest way to pay for something, because it then costs that much more. You can use your home equity line of credit. It's another option here. If you've got an equity line on your house, you can withdraw money from that and you can pay for whatever it is that you're wanting to pay for. Let me just say a couple things about that. Often people put money on their equity lines of credit thinking that that interest is deductible. There are rules around that, and you will need to make a decision about how you want to apply them. But generally speaking, you're not able to borrow more than $750,000 on one particular property or your second home. And that usually has to go to a substantial improvement, like just getting the drapes redone or hanging wallpaper or repainting. Those are not substantial improvements. If you are going to remodel a bathroom, remodel a kitchen, reinforce the foundation, like those kinds of things are things that are generally deductible on a home equity line of credit. So just be mindful about what you're doing, but that is another place to look to find cash to do an upgrade that you want to do. And I actually recommend using a HELOC if you are doing a substantial upgrade, because in terms of just getting that loan refinanced, the rules may very well be different, and it is tax deductible interest if you're under the gross amount of $750,000 in loans. So that's another place to look. Another place you might find money is in a securities-backed line of credit. So if you have non-retirement assets up on some sort of institution's platform, a wealth management platform, brokerage account, trust trust account, whatever that looks like, you can generally borrow against it. It looks just like your home equity line of credit, except it's instead of secured on your house, it's secured on your securities at the bank or at the institution. And you're able to borrow money against that. And that is another great way to get things like this paid for. Again, I want you to have a plan to get it paid off. You're not going to get the same benefits in terms of the deductible interest that you might get with the HELOC, but sometimes the interest rates are actually a little bit better. So it's totally worth looking there. Those are the places that you want to look in terms of how do I pay for this? Cash, borrow. If you're going to borrow, what's that going to look like? Here's a couple more things that I want you to think about as you're thinking about paying for this expenditure. Number one is, should you be spending a little bit more to get higher quality materials, higher quality appliances, just things that will last longer? I want you to have it be money well spent. So if you're in a range where you're comfortable in terms of how much you want to spend, if you want to go up a little on that higher end and you have a plan to pay this off and you run all your numbers, I would encourage you to do a really quality project over a project that frankly you're going to have to redo again in another 5 or 10 years. So think about that. And the other thing I would have you think about is, do you want to do 80/80 upgrades to this house so that you can stay there longer? If you're redoing a bathroom, do you add a bench in the shower? Do you add bars on the walls so that you can hold on to them as you're using various parts of the bathroom? Like, those kinds of things are worth considering. If you're going to rip the walls out and live in the dust and pay all the money and all the things, then I want you to also think about, okay, wait a minute, there's some things that maybe we should add with a little bit of foresight so that this money is extremely well spent and you can feel really good about it. So those are the things that I would have you think about. I'm Jessica Lanning. I run an independent financial planning company called Lanning Financial. Lanning does planning. If you'd like to talk to me about your financial planning, I'd love to talk to you. Go to my website at lanningfinancial.com and click on the button to see if we're a good fit. And I look forward to catching up with you.